we don't advise embalmment of bodies that have not that have questionable cause of death.
What does that mean?
Embalming is chemical preservation. And even when Dr. Onduor questioned them whether they were aware that this body was going to have a postmortem, they said yes. Are you aware also that bodies that are scheduled for postmortem, they are not supposed to be interfered with in any way? They said yes. Then the question is why? And that caught us by surprise, and we were like, could there be some things that we could, for example, if this guy had been poisoned, or maybe he had been injected with some lethal substances, after embalming, those lethal substances, you can't find them because they are supposed to be found in the same fluid that was poured out in order that the space that was occupying could be taken back by the formaldehyde. He was strangled with a ligature. A ligature is a string, a rope, a wire, anything that can make the breathing system stop. And also we found that there is a bone that they normally break very easily when they are strangling. The mandras, when they are strangling, there's a bone that they usually fracture because it's a very light bone. It's a very easy bone to break. The one that is just above the thyroid gland, which is above the underarm sepal, it's called the hyoid bone. So the hyoid bone had been broken. And the breakage of hyoid bone is normally evidence that the strangling was forceful. The other thing we found in him is that he had been battered thoroughly on the head. There was a lot of battering, either with the slaps. By the way, let me tell you, even if you slap a person and that person dies, postmortem will show that you slapped him. So we found that he had been hit hard, either slaps, fists, or objects, blunt objects on the head. But he never had a cut. There is no part of his body that had been cut. All that was done on the head was blunt injuries. Because when we opened the scalp, we found there was a lot of bleeding underneath the skin.
According to the autopsy, Sniper died a death worse than pain. His body told a tale of torture, fractured ribs, strangulation, repeated assault. He was mobbed by at least 4 killers.
Some of his ribs had been fractured because I think someone was kicking him, maybe stamping on him. If he was lying down, he was being stamped on with a shoe. And if he was maybe seated or standing, whichever way, maybe he was being kicked very hard with a very hard shoe. In fact, we were able to make the impression of a shoe on his chest because we were able to measure the impact of that we found on the chest and estimated both the length and the width, and it fitted a shoe. So in my estimation, there was a strangulator, there was a restrainer, there were 2 guys who were battering the head, and either of the 4 descended on his chest also and put sand. So the minimum number of people who could have killed this guy were 4. But it could have been more because even observers could have been there. When you ask him why he was doing this, do you know what he used to say? I don't know. Do you get what I mean? He used to tell me, I don't know. I just find myself doing it. Then I asked him, do you know that you are offending people and putting your life in danger? He said, but it's not me doing it. It's a power inside me that is doing it.
His killers didn't feed him a single meal as he suffered through a full day of captivity. His stomach was entirely empty.
When we did the postmortem, we opened his stomach and it was virtually empty. Not even a drop of, not even a grain of wheat to suggest that he had eaten mandazi. Not even a small grain of rice. His stomach was as empty as washed. He had nothing. In fact, we didn't even have any specimen to take for toxicology because he didn't have anything in the stomach. Otherwise, we would have taken the food substance that was there, packed it and sent it for chemical testing for any poison and all that. And in my inference, this guy was very weak at the time they were battering him. Very weak.
In the widening dragnet, Meru former Governor Kawira Mwangaza's brother, Murangiri Kenneth Gwantai, also known as Tali, was among 5 suspects arrested in the connection with the murder of the Meru-based blogger. Kwantai, who served as a police officer and was part of Governor Mwangaza's security detail, was arrested alongside Vincent Mureithi Kirimi, alias Supu, the man who allegedly lured Sniper to his death.
And the stories are he was killed the same time before midnight.